Hey everyone, we are in the last section of Unit 3 here, and this is going to be a section on converting from US to metric or metric to US customary measurements. And I just want to remind you that one of our last notes was on finding unit rates, and we'll be working with unit rates here. You can see that 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters is a unit rate. So we'll be incorporating those here in our work with converting between the metric and the customary US customary system. Okay, so on the front of your notes you've got this sheet, that little half sheet that gives you some of our conversions, and then when you open that up you're going to see the problems that we need to work on. And good news is we're going to be able to use our calculators with these. So our first one asks us to take 10 pounds and convert that to kilograms. And so what I'm going to do then is look at my conversion chart here, and I am going to find something that relates pounds and kilograms. So right here I see that 1 pound is 0.454 kilograms, or 454 thousandths kilograms. And so as long as the unit I know is the unit rate here, in other words, I'm looking for, I know the 10 pounds up here, I'm looking for kilograms. The pounds are the unit rate in my conversion factor. Whenever that's true, when the one that I know that not the one that I'm converting to, but the value that I've been given, whenever that is the unit rate, I'm going to be multiplying. So in this case, I know pounds, I'm looking for kilograms, and pounds is my unit rate, so I'll be multiplying here. So I'm going to be taking the 10 pounds that I know and multiplying that by the conversion of 0.454 kilograms to find out how many kilograms are in 10 pounds. And so my work then would be 10 times 0.454. I just took this amount here and I'm multiplying that by the 10 pounds that I know up here. And when I do that, I get 4 54 kilograms. And just a reminder, you can do that on a calculator. All right, so if we apply that same principle here to 23 1500 pounds and we want to convert that to kilograms, we would do the same thing. We'd go down here and find a conversion that changes pounds to kilograms. And since the pounds, the one we know, is the unit rate, is a 1, then all we have to do is multiply this number by this amount. I'm going to leave that one blank because I'm going to want you to go back and practice with that one. All right, let's look at this one then. We've got 6 5/10 inches and we want to change that to centimeters. So we go down here and we find something that relates inches and centimeters, and sure enough the one we know is the unit rate here, so we know we can multiply. So we can take our 6 5/10 and we're going to multiply it by how many centimeters are in 1 inch, which is 2 54 hundredths. So think about that because it makes sense. If there's 2 54 hundredths, 2.54 centimeters for every inch, if we want to know how many are in 6 1/2 inches, all we would need to do is multiply our 6 1/2 by how many are in 1 inch. And when I do that on my calculator, I get 16 51 hundredths centimeters, cm. All right, again, skipping the next one, and I'll have you come back and do that in a little bit. And then 22 gallons is how many liters. So we look down here for a conversion factor that gives us gallons and liters, and I see it right here. And fortunately, again, the gallons, the one we know up here, is the one down here, which means this will be a multiplication problem. And so we're going to take our 22 gallons, and we're going to multiply it by the number of liters in 1 gallon to find out how many are in 22 gallons. And when I do that on my calculator, I find out that I have 83 27 hundredths liters. Now the abbreviation for liters is a capital L so that you don't mistake it for an I. All right, we'll come back to that one. And then we've got 4 92 hundredths miles, and we want to convert that to kilometers. So we go down here and look for miles and kilometers, and I've got one right here that has the unit rate of miles compared to kilometers, and so I'm going to use that one, the one I know, and the unit So if I know that there's 1.609 kilometers in 1 mile, then I will take this amount and multiply it by the number of miles I have to find out how many kilometers in this many miles. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my 4 and 92 hundredths miles and multiply that by how many kilometers are in 1 mile, which is 1.069. No, it isn't 1.609. I said that backwards, didn't I? I'm going to get my calculator out and do that. And when I get my calculator out, I find out that that is 7.91628 kilometers, which is km. All right, I'm going to have you do the next one. And then 18 liters, how many gallons? So I'm going to go down here and find liters to gallons. Now remember, we want the number, the value that we know, the number here that we have, we want that to be our 1 so that this is a multiplication problem. So down here I find liters and gallons. And so I'm going to say that 1 liter is 0.264 gallons. So I can multiply my 18 liters by the number of gallons in 1 liter, and I'll find out how many are in 18 liters. So 18 times 0.264, and when I do that multiplication on my calculator, I am going to find out that it is 4 and 752 thousandths gallons. And I do want to point out to you that up here we were changing from U.S. measurements to metric measurements. So up here was, these were U.S. customary measurements to metric. And then we made a little switch right here, and we're now changing from the metric measurements to the U.S. customary measurements. Okay. All right, I'm going to skip that next one so that you can try that in a little bit, and then go on to 5 and 5/10 kilometers is how many miles. And so I want this one right here, that 1 kilometer is 62 hundredths of a mile, so that I can just do a nice easy multiplication problem here. So I'm going to take the number of kilometers I have, 5.5, and multiply it by the number of miles that are in 1 kilometer so that I can find out how many are in 5.5 kilometers. It'd be like saying it would be like saying adding, right? That's multiplication. Okay. All right, so 0.62, plug that into my calculator, and I am going to find out that my answer is 3 and 41 hundredths miles. All right, I'll have you do that one a little bit. 1 and 5/10 kilograms is how many pounds? Let's go down here and find kilograms to pounds. Again, we're going metric to US now, so we're looking for these conversions. 1.5 kilograms is how many pounds? We're going to take 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds, so we're going to multiply here our 1.5 times our 2 and 2/10, and we will find out that that is 3 and 3/10 pounds. Abbreviation for pounds is LBS. All right, have you try that one? Go on to this one. 14 meters is how many inches? Okay, again, we're going from metric to US. So 14 meters, how many inches? There's 1 inch, there's 39 and 37 hundredths inches in 1 meter. So we'll take our 14 and we'll multiply it by the number of inches in 1 meter, 39 and 37 hundredths. And when we do that multiplication problem on our calculator, we get 551 and 18 hundredths inches. All right, I'll let you do that one. Okay, now this one, we've got 15, we're back to from US to metric, and we find out that 15 inches, and we want to convert that to meters. Now this one's going to be just a little bit different because we don't have anything down here that says 1 inch is so many meters, all right? We can see that over here we've got 1 meter is 39 and 37 hundredths inches. So when it's backwards like this, when we're converting from a measurement where we can't use a unit measurement for the one we know. In other words, I don't see anything on here that says 1 inch is so many meters. In this situation, we have to divide because we don't have a unit rate for inches. We have a unit rate for meters, which is the one we don't know. but we don't have a unit rate for inches that relates it to meters. And so in this situation, because we don't have a 1 inch equals so many meters, we're going to have to do a division problem. So this becomes 15 inches divided by 39 and 37/100ths. And when we do that division problem, we get that 15 inches is just a fraction of a meter. It's 0.381 meters. The abbreviation for meters is just an M. All right, and so I'm going to stop this video now, and I want you to try the ones that we skipped over and then tune into the next video to check yourself. Remember, you can use a calculator for these.